presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are St. Louis.
The Arizona Diamondbacks with 5 runs in the 8th inning in Game 1 of this series. A couple of home runs given up by who else? Ruben Tejada. Yesterday, home runs aplenty. Jed Jerko, Matt Adams, and Yadier Molina, his first home run this year. It sets the stage for game number 3. Zach Greinke, Jaime Garcia. Baseball next. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball and a beautiful Sunday afternoon from Busch Stadium. Game number 3 between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the St. Louis Cardinals. With the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us. Great pitching matchup today. Jaime Garcia loves pitching at home. Zach Greinke, the big free agent signing for Arizona, should be a good matchup.
It should be. Zach Greinke is one of the premier pitchers in the league, and we all know Jaime Garcia right now, when he's on, he can be as good as it gets. So it will be an interesting matchup today, and it'll be fun to watch. Keep the ball down in the zone. A nice warm day here, so offenses are going to have a little bit of trouble today if both pitches are on.
Let's take a look at our Budweiser What's on Tap. It's this matchup. The right-hander, Zach Greinke, against the tough lefty of the Cardinals, Jaime Garcia. Baseball comes your way next. and the state of Missouri teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call the Quit line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Let's take a look at our Kubota power stats. And we're talking about home runs, and the Cardinals are 5th on this list. Most home runs per game in the major leagues this year. Tampa Bay, Baltimore, the Mets, Seattle, and St. Louis. Yesterday, Jed Jerko, 2-run homer in the 4th, his 5th of the year. Matt Adams with his 4th of the year. And Yadier Molina, a 2-run blast, his 1st of the season. Will the trend continue in Game 3? We're about to find out. It's brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. An absolutely gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in the middle of America. And along with Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Busch Stadium in St. Louis, 78 degrees. Arizona Diamondbacks come in 5 games below the 500 mark. We take a look at their lineup with Segura, Bourne, and Goldschmidt here in the 1st. Then Wellington, Castillo, Yasmani Tomas, Drury, Owings. The pitcher batting 8th, and he can swing it. That's Zach Greinke and Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, batting 9th. On the mound for the Cardinals, he's so good at home. It's Jaime Garcia, and for whatever reason, he's so good at day games. That combination usually means good things for the Cardinals.
Well, being comfortable at home, obviously one thing, but for some reason, day games is a little tougher to pick up the ball for the hitters. Early on, the spin you don't see as crisp because of the difference between the seams and the white baseball. You can't see as well during the day. At night, it's a little bit easier, as more contrast. And he's the kind of guy that doesn't, it's not the big breaking ball and the changeup. It's tight. Everything's tight. Tight cutter, tight slider, sinker. So might make it a little harder on the offense to pick up his pitches in the daytime.
Diamondbacks hitting .265 against left-handed pitching this year with 17 doubles and 54 driven in. They've had pretty good success with extra bases against those lefties. Here's Gene Segura, off to a great start. 328, 61 hits this season to lead their club. I always liked him when he was in Milwaukee.
Good player. You can see right there, first 2 pitches of the game are just supposed to be fastballs away, and they're cutting all the way across the zone. So it's going to be an interesting afternoon if he really sometimes doesn't know if it's going to cut or sink.
I remember talking to Jason LaRue, and he came over to St. Louis, and he's doing a bullpen with Jaime Garcia. And he later said, I'm not catching this guy unless it's in a game. That's it. He almost broke my thumbs. Had no idea where the ball was going. Just that natural movement.
Natural movement sometimes can be your worst enemy also. It's interesting, there's a lot of pitchers out there that would love to have a scuff on the ball. Obviously it makes the ball move, and it's a lot of pitchers don't like that because they don't know where the ball's going to end up, and they don't like not having the control.
Cardinals thankful that Garcia is healthy again, and his injuries were serious. Shoulder surgery, Tommy John, thoracic outlet surgery. They remove a bone. I mean, these are major issues that he's dealt with, and give him credit. He's back here and pitching well in the big leagues. Fouled back. Always see Garcia go down with the pitching hand, rub it on the mound, get that dirt.
Sometimes it's a fine line, getting too much dirt, too much rosin. You just want a little bit, you go right to the rubber.
Misses in, and a leadoff walk. Dobstein Auto Centers. Look at the defense behind Jaime Garcia. Moss in left, Grichuk in center, Piscotty is in right. Carpenter, Diaz, Wong, and Adams on the infield, and Molina is behind the plate. So the leadoff walk, and it brings in Michael Bourne.
I was looking through our notes. It's interesting to see people that have faced Jaime Garcia in their lineup. The top 3 guys in the lineup are the guys who faced him the most, been around the longest. And Gene Segura, obviously, the walk right there hits him the best. So I think when you're a pitcher, you kind of know who you face and who you haven't faced and who hit you. So it was interesting to see whether he was sharp or not. He was being careful right there, moving the ball around against Segura. Like you said, good player.
Up and in to Michael Bourne. This will be the final time that we see the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. Split the 4-game series in the desert. There's the numbers that Jimmy's talking about. 7 for 14 Bourne against today's starter Jaime Garcia.
And only 2 strikeouts against the lefty with this kind of stuff is pretty good for lefty-lefty matchup.
Calling the balls and strikes, Mark Wegner. Marty Foster down at first. Mike Mulchinski is at second, and Mike Winters is down at third. He's the crew chief. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bourne. Cardinals in game 1 of this series turned 4 double plays. That's a base hit into right field. Segura heads to third.
See a hard base hit to right field there, but both of these guys can run. Sitting up here in the booth watching him go first to third easily, even after having to take a quick second. But you see Piscotty with no play there, and he's cruising into third. I worry about a situation like that when Bourne hits the ball into the corner just a little bit. If he gets out of the box, he can take a shot at going to second.
Seen him do that a number of times.
And being, if he sees Piscotty being deep and having to move over, he gets that little bit of tiny bobble or just doesn't go after it hard, he's at second base.
And a ball to Paul Goldschmidt. Slow start, batting .243. 8 home runs. He has driven in 24. Not many teams, though, have been pitching to him. He's second in the National League in walks behind Bryce Harper. Arizona comes in, as we mentioned, 5 games below the 500 mark, but on the road they played their best baseball, 13-8. At home they are 10 games below the 500 mark. Get a look at Chip Hale. the second-year manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Instead, a check on the runner at first. Only 7 out of 19 times. Runner on third, less than 2 outs as Goldschmidt brought them in. That's a surprising number.
Definitely is. A hitter of this caliber.
The 1-1 pitch. Instead, another check. One of the issues that Garcia had in spring training, and you and I were supposed to be doing one of the games that he was starting, but they put him on the backfields to work on holding runners on and his delivery to the plate. Sometimes in trying to be quick to the plate, he would rush, open up, and the ball would fly and get high on him. Sale. There's your double play ball. Run will score. And it's 1-0. So the Cardinals exchange the 2 outs for the run. Carpenter might have been able to get Segura in a rundown.
He had Segura easily right here, but you're taught in this situation to just take the double play, especially in the first inning. Give up the run, get 2 outs. Make it easy on everyone.
And it brings in Wellington Castillo, longtime Cub.
I think if Carp was a little bit closer to the plate, maybe playing in, he probably would have went to home, but being deep, just take the easy to double play.
So 2 outs and nobody on. Castillo with a fly ball out to left, and that is fair into the corner. Hops over the wall and a souvenir and a ground rule double for Wellington Castillo. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Jaime Garcia. Fastball, the slider, curve, and a changeup. Now trying to pitch out of trouble again, Yasmani Tomas, who's hitting .289, the left fielder for Arizona. Win yesterday. The Cardinals now 3 games above 500. Just a half game back of Pittsburgh and 7 back of the Chicago Cubs, and the Cubs will be here tomorrow. They're playing the night game in San Francisco, and so they'll get into St. Louis probably around 4 or 5 in the morning. No off day and get ready to play.
If that.
Must drive players crazy.
It does. It's tough. It really is. It's such a fine line between playing those games. Obviously, they're in their TV games, and TV's driving the revenue of Major League Baseball.
Base hit out to left, and the throw by Moss is not in time. Misses the cut, and with that, Tomas heads to second. 2-0 Arizona.
Good at bat right there. Brandon Moss comes in and throws the ball. He's taking a chance at him right there, but just missing the cutoff man just a little bit. Allows the runner to go from first to second base. The hitter to go all the way to second base, and then another runner in scoring position.
So here is Brandon Drury. A walk, single, 2 of them in this inning, and a double. And only 16 pitches. Saw Segura work that walk, and then everybody else has been aggressive early in the count against Jaime Garcia. We'll see if that's the trend here this afternoon.
Well, he does throw a lot of fastballs, and when you showed that graphic a minute ago, the amount of fastballs is, the percentage is so high because it's 2 different types of fastballs. It's a sinker and a cutter, and hitters know that. You just got to decide which one's which.
2 outs, runner at second. And the 0-1 to Drury. Picked by Yachty in the dirt. Matchups for the Cubs. Wainwright and Lackey tomorrow. Lackey sensational in that start against the Cardinals earlier this year. It'll be Walkup and Jason Hamill on Tuesday. Then Carlos Martinez and Jake Arrieta. It's a 12:45 start Wednesday afternoon. Arrieta is 8-0. Two balls, one strike, and a 2-0 Arizona lead. Hit up the middle. That's a base hit. Tomas waved in. And Arizona has picked up 3 runs for Zach Greinke and counting here in the first inning.
The hitters are doing a good job right here of just really not trying to do too much. You can see right there, knowing a sinker or cutter's coming, ball's usually down, and you see right here the defense is really deep. Center and left pretty deep, 2 outs, no chance of throwing anyone out. Even that play with Brandon Moss right there, him not being out there a lot, it's a tough situation for him being so deep with 2 outs. Probably, you know, your body's telling you to try to get the guy at the plate, but the smart play right there is maybe to back down and just kind of toss it into second base, but you also don't want to look bad and not taking a chance.
And that's a base hit off the bat of Owings. 4 consecutive hits, and Derek Lilliquist out to visit. You know, it's such a fine line at this level where mistakes make you pay. For instance, in this inning, the walk to Segura, he comes around to score. You talked about the play with Moss where he doesn't hit the cut and Tomas winds up in scoring position. They drive him in. Just those little things that can make such a difference in a game.
Yeah, and they get kind of lost because he's given up 4 hits in a row, like you said. But, you know, the thing about that is that when you're giving up ground ball hits, sometimes a guy being on first or a guy being on second changes the way the defense is playing. The infield might be in a different situation if there's a guy at first versus a guy at second, so you never know where those ground balls will end up. Change the way you pitch to people. It does change the whole strategy of the game just from one miscue. So it's just one of those things that you really have to pay attention to and try not to get excited and overdo something. And like I said, missing the cutoff man is something that you really don't want to do.
Greinke with a fly ball out to left field. Brandon Moss is there. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they pick up the early lead with 5 hits in the first. He allowed 4 runs in the first innings of any of his games this year. 8 starts. Not the start he was looking for here in this ball game today. It's Carpenter, Diaz, Piscotty, Adams, Molina, Moss, Grichuk, Wong, and Garcia. That lineup will face Zach Greinke. Greinke, the big free agent signing for the Arizona Diamondbacks, with an ERA that sits now over 5, and his record is 4-3. You faced Zach Greinke.
The thing with Greinke for me when he was younger is you just really had to make him throw strikes. He's got such good stuff. A lot of the balls that he throws appear to be strikes but end up out of the zone, and you really just have to bear down and be careful. One thing he does, he throws a lot of first pitch strikes, but after that he's one of the worst in the big leagues at his strike percentage. So to me, you be ready to hit, but be patient inside the strike zone, and make him throw strikes.
Won the 2009 American League Cy Young Award. Was a runner-up a year ago in the National League to Jake Arrieta. Had an opt-out in his deal with the Dodgers and used that to get a 6-year contract with Arizona. Last year he was 19-3 with a 1.66 ERA. No balls, 2 strikes on Carpenter. So once again with 2 strikes, we saw this the other night. A 2-strike shift against Matt Carpenter.
Now you see why.
Hits right into it for the out. Look at the Arizona defense today. Tomas, Owings, and Bourne in the outfield. Drury, Ahmed, Segura, Goldschmidt along the infield, and Wellington Castillo, your catcher. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Ledmus Diaz with 3 really good defensive plays in the ball game yesterday. He is getting more comfortable by the day. Average at 360. Couple of hits in this series, 2 for 10. And a fly ball that's lifted into right field. Michael Bourne, 2 away. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Zach Greinke, the starter today for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Features a fastball, slider, curve, and changeup. Likes that changeup.
Something he really didn't have early in his career. A lot of fastballs, a lot of sliders, and a lot of balls. When he throws his curveball, he likes to bounce it, or at least he did. And that's one of the things. You just can't be over aggressive. Likes to get strike 1, like I said, and kind of like to watch how this plays out and see what he does as he gets into the count. If the hitters can lay off some of the borderline pitches.
Well, the start here for Stephen Piscotty. 335. Holiday not in the lineup today, on the bench, so Piscotty will bat 3rd. Adams will bat cleanup. We talk a lot about Diaz. We've talked a lot about Mike Leake coming to St. Louis, and kind of flown under the radar has been Stephen Piscotty and just how well he has played.
Very consistent.
Yes.
Very quiet and consistent.
Mike Leake was sensational yesterday. He's won his last 3 starts. And in those games, Leake's ERA is .86.
I think you saw the way he pitched in spring training and was so good and aggressive, and you knew it was there. Start of the season is just a different monster sometimes. Get comfortable, pitching in a different ballpark, being in a different atmosphere,
Pressure on the contract,
different routine. day, you know, obviously coming to spring training in the morning, you kind of just flying by the seat of your pants. You get there at 7 a.m. and you don't have any time to think, and it's just the game is on you.
There's a diving stop and no play for Brandon Drury. If he lets that go, to Nick Ahmed, who is a tremendous defender, may have had a chance. Maybe. So an infield hit, and it brings in Adams.
Shortstop right there to make that backhanded play, but I think Piscotty running so well has a pretty good chance to beat that out. But I've seen it a couple times lately where third baseman's kind of gone too far, and they're taught to go after anything you can get.
2 outs, and here's Adams, and he hits a high fly ball out to right. Long way to go for Bourne, and he makes the catch near the fans. Nicely done. Cardinals strand a runner. Arizona leads it. 1 inning in the books. Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and so much more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. A 3-0 Arizona lead.
And right now, hitting the pitcher 8. It's working out for good strategy for Chip Hale. Got the 9-hole hitter. Your shortstop leading off the inning.
Pays off. Is he thinking extra bases here? Why not? Off balance throw by Moss, and not in time. Sliding it head first. Wonder if Wong was just trying to deke the runner, but the play is right in front of Nick Ahmed. He can see that that ball's coming, and watch this tag.
Well, look at Nick Ahmed right here. He's running the whole way. He didn't even look up. He knew he was going for 2. I don't think Colton expected him to be there, or it was a little bit offline. It's so hard to see the distance between where the throw is and the bag from watching it on TV, being up here. At first look, it kind of looked like it either surprised him or there was no sense of urgency, but down there you got a better feel of what's going on, and he knew he didn't have time to tag him.
Here's Gene Segura. Segura with a walk and a run scored. Back at the top of the first.
Tell you what, the Diamondbacks came here early to swing the bat. They are ready to go.
Just going to say they are, and it's early in counts, but they're hammering right now. They're comfortable against Jaime Garcia.
And I know I spoke to Tony this morning. He was a little upset about the way that they swung the bat yesterday. And I know he didn't go downstairs and give them a pep talk, but for some reason it looks like they got the message.
0-2 the count. Big gap in left center field. That's about as shallow that we will see Randall Grichuk playing in center field, and Piscotty about as close to the line that you'll see.
He's happy right now. See how long that lasts. Big gap in left center field.
Long look, and now the 1-2. Good pitch in on his hands. We've talked about it a lot, and we used to talk about it when you were playing, how shallow you would play. And I know you were working with the outfielders this year. Did you get in those conversations at all about why you played shallow or where they wanted to play for comfort?
I think this group particularly is pretty young, and they haven't gotten to that point where they're comfortable with the league yet and the pitching staff.
There's a fly ball out to left. Moss with the catch. And a one-hopper to third.
I think it takes some time to really, for one, trust yourself, trust the league, and then have your coaching staff trust you to know what you're doing. And like I said, I think especially for Randall, being young, had played a full year last year, and just really have to be comfortable out there. And I don't really see that yet being the issue. It's gonna take some time. It took me a long time too, and paying attention and studying as part of it too. And you just really have to be committed to putting yourself out there and being ready to go. And it's really a lot of focus.
Here's Michael Bourne. So initially you didn't do it.
Not as much, no. It kind of worked into it. It has a lot to do with your pitching staff too. Like, I think with a guy like Garcia, you could cheat because he keeps the ball down, and you could see every ball so far has been hit on the ground or like a little bit of a line drive. A guy like Chris Carpenter, you could really cheat in. Made really good pitches all the time. Was always on. You know, Wainwright, same situation. You know, you get a couple other guys that are more four-seam fastball. Guys pitch up in the zone, and it's fly ball day. You back up a couple of steps.
Because ballparks would dictate some of that too.
Definitely. You know, get a small ballpark, ball carries. I'd back up a little bit.
Sure.
Your chances of catching a home run those days are a little bit better, so you want to back up. But here,
now we get the truth.
Well, so here, this ballpark in particular, I wouldn't worry about playing deep. I don't think you can get back there in time unless you're playing so deep. This is a hitter's ball. I mean, this is a pitcher's ballpark to me. I would play a little bit more shallow. But the problem that this ballpark, that you face in this ballpark, is not that it's shallow, because you can see center field is only 400 feet away to dead center, but the gaps are what scares me as a center fielder here. Into the corner, into the bullpens is forever to run, and so you almost have to back up a little bit when the stronger guys are hitting, because I'm more worried about the gaps than I am the ball straight over my head.
1-2 the count. Ahmed is your runner at second base. And the 1-2 pitch. We'll see if Garcia gets into a little bit of a groove. He had a start earlier this year. Rough first inning, and then after that settled in and gave the Cardinals 5 strong innings for a total of 6. Sometimes that happens.
Well, the thing too is, throw a lot of fastballs, a lot of cutters, a lot of sinkers, and if they're not moving or you're not hitting your spots and you're not throwing your breaking ball, they're just looking hard the whole inning and getting after it. You have to mix up a breaking ball, a little bit slower slider or a changeup to keep everyone off balance. As everything's hard, sometimes that's a bad thing. Throwing too many strikes also is a bad thing. Looks like a pretty good pitch right there.
Well, I've noticed down and into the righties. That pitch right there has not been called early on. This has been a tight zone.
Well, if the ball goes across or through that block, it should be called a strike. There's no way you should miss a strike, I don't think. I could see maybe calling some pitches borderline, but you shouldn't miss a strike.
Under the glove of Garcia, barehanded by Wong, and safe. Is it me or are the Cardinals in slow motion right now? Just little things.
Jaime looked like he was in quicksand right there.
Man.
His body was off balance, falling the other way, and he just couldn't really react quick enough. It's just a tough play in between with Michael Bourne running.
So here is Goldschmidt and a chance to do some damage here. One out in the top of the second. Grounded into a double play back in the first inning that allowed Segura to score. A lot of talk about the strike zone, and you can see Garcia staring back at the home plate umpire. You know, the Cardinals talk about it in terms of their pitching staff, pound the bottom of the strike zone. And so that would go against the theory that they want to be down in the zone, contact, ground balls, which a lot of staffs are taught that way around Major League Baseball, and that could change next year. You could see Jaime is frustrated with this zone.
His balls, I think this, even the ball like down and away, we still talk about the ball up in the zone that doesn't get called very often. And you know, a strike is a strike. I mean, it's just because it's a little bit up or out over the plate doesn't mean you have to throw it right down the middle. He throws the ball down and away, should get the strike, it's not getting it. Yeah, you get frustrated and you try a little bit more, try a little harder, and that gets you in trouble.
In this at bat, first pitch was low, according to the home plate umpire Mark Wegner. So then he goes up maybe a half a foot, then it's high, and you can see even Molina question the home plate umpire.
Well, we talked about that from the belt to the knees. That's not enough room, a margin of error for a strike zone. And then you get that.
Yep, swinging on 3-0, and it's 4-0.
If you don't get down and you don't get up and you don't get the corners, if you have to throw the ball down the middle, there's nobody in this league that can be successful with having to throw the ball down the middle. And that's where this is right there. That's in the red hot zone. That's in that tornado zone we were talking about the other day.
Don't be in that zone.
Don't be in that zone.
The Cardinals now getting, it looks like, Bowman up and throwing.
What do you do if you're not getting the calls that?
Well,
we're not talking about borderline. We're talking about ball that is a 2-ball or a ball inside the strike zone.
And you can see Garcia talking to the home plate umpire. Bowman starts to throw, and in my opinion, he made the adjustment in that at bat. All right, first pitch low, great. We'll raise it a little bit. That's high, and as you said, at that point, then he's got to put it down the middle, and these guys will crush it.
And they're the 3-0. You don't want to walk him. You got to get back to the strike, and then good hitter like Paul Goldschmidt, he's swinging the bat.
No doubt.
Lucky that that ball stays in the ballpark at times.
Here's Castillo. He doubled to left and scored in the first. 4-0. Arizona. It's still only one out.
You can see right there he was 3-0 with 3 strikes.
And there it is. Pitch one, a little low, but a strike. Called a ball. Then he elevates. Throws a strike.
Called the ball. Then you miss. Then you have to throw it down the middle.
Yeah.
You can see though they're looking for the fastball right away because you can see Castillo's first reaction to the breaking ball is he was already starting to swing before it was out of his hand and was able to check his swing. But that just goes to tell you that they're expecting him to throw fastballs, a lot of sinker, a lot of cutter, and when they see it, they're swinging at it.
2 balls and 1 strike.
Sometimes, you said it earlier, you whispered it, you have to give credit to the hitters. They're making an adjustment right now of a game plan against Jaime Garcia.
Two-one pitch. And a broken bat, slowly hit to the right side. Wong, off balance throw. That's out number 2. Runners advance to second and third. Colton had a long way to go for that ball.
Had a good play right there. Going way to his left. I was a little worried Matt Adams wasn't going to get back, as looked like they had a little bit of a shift, or maybe Colton was way up the middle. You can see here that they're moving around in the infield too, with sinkers and a lot of balls being put in play on the ground, playing the percentages. Makes it tough. Everybody's got to pay attention and be on point, because I mean, your first baseman right now is, what is that, 20 feet off the bag?
Right. He's going to bring that up, and then knowing how far he can and wants to range to his right to go after a ground ball.
I mean,
and then it puts pressure on Garcia to get to the bag at first, and then for that infielder to lead the pitcher.
The problem with this play for a first baseman is he's playing where he should be, but if that ball is hit to your right, you flinch to your right, it's hard to get back.
Sure.
You really have to work hard to get back to first base.
There's your ground ball. Adams to the bag, and Carpenter a throw right at the chest. Greinke, score of 4-0. Let's turn to our Toyota key to the game.
But we talked about this earlier already. Bring it back up, because I think this is so important. Patience on the offensive side. Unfortunately, now you have a 4-run deficit, but like I said, you either got to be ready to hit the first pitch, which is usually a strike. He's got a good first pitch strike percentage, or be patient, because his second and third pitch and strike percentage is very low. Hit everything that's in the zone when it's in the zone.
For a guy that has been so good in his career at different points in time, he has bounced around a bit. Kansas City, Milwaukee, the Angels, the Dodgers, and now the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The pitching strategy there too is get ahead and then make the next pitch. You know, if you get ahead 0-1, you're completely defensive as a hitter now, and you got to be a little bit more careful because a lot of guys don't want to be 0-2, so they're going to chase a little bit more. So he's trying to make him hit his pitch.
1-2. Yanni gets that first home run in game 2 of this series yesterday, and I'm sure that's a bit of a relief for him. Get that first one under your belt.
Got to fill in all the categories. You don't want any zeros after a first month or two, but the way he's been swinging the bat and being patient, line drives, I mean, I'm sure he'll take that.
He's hitting .313.
Looks like he's way more comfortable this year. Last year he struggled. I thought a lot of people said last year in spring training, well, he was really thinner. And this year I think he, that being strong is the best way to hit. Like if you're rested and you're strong, it's a lot easier to hit that way. And sometimes when you're weak and you're thin, you're not comfortable, you try to provide a lot of power on your own, and that's kind of the opposite way to hit. You're kind of swinging wild, and it makes it tougher. So really relaxing spring training for him, so to speak, where he can kind of rest and just get his work in and not get beat up. And so far so good this year.
Talked to Mike Matheny about that, just getting used to a new body, if you will. And that's a liner caught, and a terrific play by Paul Goldschmidt. The many travels of Zach Greinke, drafted in 2002 by Kansas City, 6th overall pick. Look at some of the names that are in these deals. Really good players. With the Angels, and then the Dodgers signed as a free agent, had an opt-out of that contract and parlayed that into over $200 million in a 6-year deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Look at this shift for Brandon Moss. Not only are they playing him to pull, look how deep the infielders are.
Need to give the umpires a glove too.
Man, oh man.
I'll back out there.
Popped up. There's about 5 different guys that can make this play. Oh, the catch is made by Bourne. 6 is a serious number at On the Run. The Cardinals score 6. Any size drink, just 50 cents the next day. Coffee fountain, frozen drinks. When they score, you pour at your nearest On the Run. You earned it.
I was watching the game the other day, and you know what the first thing I noticed? Randall Grichuk shaved and cut his hair.
Yeah.
I like it.
You didn't like the slick back look?
I like the clean cut, little maybe rough, not overgrown beard. It's funny, I think when you struggle a little bit, you look for everything. I'm going to change everything.
Well, apparently you haven't gotten the memo at Fox Sports Midwest. It's been floating around for, oh, I don't know, 25 years.
What would that be?
That when you go on television, James, you need to shave every once in a while.
I shave. Shaved this morning.
What is that, a 2-hour growth? It's just a little memo. It's
every
no
other
big
day.
deal.
Every other day. That's a lot for me. Now I'm getting older, and there's like this weird color growing on my face
it's
now.
Called gray.
It's like mine looks like it's white some places, but I shave more often now. I was playing. I didn't shave every 4 or 5 days. It's annoying.
Well, yeah, you're playing.
Busy.
You got other things to do. 2-1 is popped up. Goldschmidt shading from the sun and makes the catch. Cardinals go in order. We'll get Jimmy a razor, and we'll head to the 3rd. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Quality, reliability, and value. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by National Car Rental. Go National. Go like a pro. Along with the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And the Diamondbacks have a 4-0 lead here in the top of inning number 3. This is Drury, and he takes a ball high. You got a text message between innings from a guy that we both really enjoyed, and that
one of my favorite teammates,
Reggie Sanders. Good player.
Listening from somewhere, I don't know where. Probably Arizona, I would imagine, if he's still living there. I thought they moved back to Carolina. But thank you for the text, Reggie.
Matter of fact, he is. He was at fantasy camp this last year and had a chance to visit with him. And there's a lot of great works in terms of charity. It's in Myrtle Beach.
One of the all-time classy teammates. Just had it together on and off the field. Great family man, great player.
Three and 2. He was another guy that said, you know, this Tony La Russa, I'm not so sure I really like him. And then he got to play for him, and he loved him.
I was going to say, is it still out? He still doesn't know.
Remember when Lance Berkman, who was brutally honest with the media, he said, I hated Tony La Russa. I couldn't stand him. But now I love him. 3-2 pitch. Line to short, off the glove of Diaz and into left field. Cardinals Insider gives you a behind-the-scenes view of the Cardinals with news, features, and more. This week we'll recap a celebrity chef and a visit to Busch Stadium. Profile former Cardinals outfielder Ted Savage. Cardinals Insider brought to you by your Mid-America Chevy dealers. That's after the game on Fox Sports Midwest. It's now 9 hits for Arizona. Here's Owings. Singled his first time up. Garcia has been working from the stretch for the better part of the afternoon. Talked to Mike Matheny about that. Guys that have those unique windups. And he said, until somebody proves to me that you throw harder by bringing your hands above your head, turning your back, whatever the case may be, I'm going with what I believe, which is a simplified delivery. That's what I want our guys to have.
For sure. Keep it simple. Balance is so important. The less you do, the more you can keep your balance. More strikes you'll throw. And this isn't all about velocity. There's very few guys that can get away with just firing the ball over the middle of the plate. And you better be in the upper 90s, especially today. I remember Nolan Ryan used to go over his head.
Sure.
But he reared back and threw it. But he would have walk, you know, his walk total would be up every game. He'd throw a lot of pitches, but very strong. He's a workhorse.
Who was the most intimidating guy you faced? I would think a lefty of like Randy Johnson would be.
He wasn't fun to face. Clemens.
I was going to say Clemens would
well,
have to be.
You just didn't really know. Roger could throw at you if he wanted to and get away with it.
Base hit, softly hit into right field. Throw by Piscotty. Now to second, and they got him.
That's a heads-up play by Carp right there. It really is. He read the throw, knew Piscotty didn't have a cutoff man, and went out there knowing that the runner was going to be safe at third base all the way, and he could see in front of him. You see Drury running hard again, and he's probably going to make this, but you see no cutoff man, and Carp is just standing up there knowing he's going to have a chance at second base, and makes a good read.
Short outing here for Jaime Garcia. Matt Bowman is our Chevy called to the pen. He'll face Greinke and a runner at third when we come back. Pitcher for St. Louis. Short outing for Jaime Garcia. And it was a couple of weeks ago. He was roughed up and had one bad outing. And you know that for a reliever, Jimmy. The lack of innings, the ERA jumps up. But still respectable. 3.71. He's done a nice job.
He has done a nice job. And you're right that one bad outing can really crush your ERA. But I find this is an interesting move right here. He went to the bullpen with Greinke coming up. That's when you know your pitcher is just not on today. And I'm telling you, you got to credit Arizona. They did a good job of attacking the fastball when it was thrown in the strike zone.
Here's a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for the right-hander Bowman. So the infield is drawn in. Runner at third, Zach Greinke. Fly to left his first time up. Flies to right, backing up Piscotty. Catch is made. Runner will tag and score. Brings in Drury, and the Diamondbacks add to their lead. It's now 5-0. Greinke can swing the bat. He's a former shortstop, and he's a weapon at the plate here in the National League. The second RBI of the season. And here is Nick Ahmed. Doubled and scored back in the second inning. Rick Horton and I were talking about Bowman. Reminds us a little bit with the windup of Tim Lincecum. Lincecum just signed with the Angels. And even with everything that he does, when he brings that left leg up, he's got balance. We were talking about that with the windup earlier. He works from the first base side of the rubber, and maybe his toe is on it. Ground ball slowly hit to short, glove by Diaz. The stretch by Adams. Garcia out, Bowman in. 5-0 lead for Zach Greinke. Shortest outing in his career, Jaime Garcia, here at Busch Stadium. So his day is through. Diamondbacks inaugural game with a St. Louis tie-in. Late Darryl Kyle made that start for the Rockies. Andy Bennis had signed as a free agent with Arizona, that came back to St. Louis. As Wong rips that into right center field. He has 2 triples this year. He'll settle for the double. I can't imagine what you and your teammates went through with the loss of Darryl Kyle. Dear friend of yours.
Yeah, look at those 2 guys right there. 2 great teammates. That year with DK was just unbelievable. I mean, you have to throw passing of Jack Buck in there too, which was, and you know what's crazy is, as much as it was DK for our team, the teammates, I mean, it's the same thing for Jack, you know. So Jack Buck meant more to the city than DK did, so to speak. Vice versa for the team, more probably crushed by DK's thing, but I think it was equally as tough on everyone. And the people in the city feel what the team feels, and the passing of those 2 within, I think, about a week was just, I don't know. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that in my life, and it was just pretty surreal. And
there's Matt Bowman.
Our organization and our players and our manager, coaching staff did such a great job of keeping everyone together. And it's crazy. I've never been in a situation where a baseball team, the ownership came forward and had like counselors if we needed them, people to talk to, whatever we needed. You know, we needed a day off. It just was. It was awesome to be a part of, and such a tragedy turned into such a strong tie for a whole bunch of players and an organization to come together.
Pushed foul. Have you talked to Flynn, Kyle?
I haven't talked to her in a few years. No, I haven't. Especially since I haven't been playing anymore. But gosh, I was trying to figure out how old Cannon would be now. He's got to be almost 20, if in his 20s.
I was going to say was 16, 17. I don't.
Getting close.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
He was at least 7, 6, 7, 8 years old then.
Bowman gets the bunt down. Nicely done. Good job by Matt Bowman.
Good job by Matt Bowman right there to stay focused. Saw him get frustrated the pitch before. Tough to do. Not used to doing this. He's out there. He's looking at him. He's ready to go. He's down where he needs to be. like I said, after the pitch before, when he knew he should have gotten the ball down and bang your bat just to get back in there and stay focused and just make it as simple as possible and just get the ball down. Don't worry about where it goes.
6 out of 15 times for Carpenter in this spot. He's driven in 32 on the year. That drops in for a strike. Darryl Kyle came to St. Louis and rediscovered that ridiculous curveball that he had. It's like he was playing wiffle ball out there. It's unbelievable.
They had, I think we had him and Ankiel back to back a couple times, and I remember standing over at first base and Phil Nevin telling me that's not even fair. I got DK one day, and then you think, oh great, I got a lefty on the mound the next day for a right-hander, and then they said the kid's throwing 94 miles an hour with just as big of a curveball from the left side. So he said this isn't fair.
You know, and Ankiel, guys that would play catch with him, they'd say, hey, just spin one off, let's see it. They said, holy smokes, they had heard about it, but they had never seen it. As Carpenter strikes out.
Rick threw a curveball so hard that you could hear his fingers snap. I don't know which finger was snapping against the other finger, but it almost sounded like he was snapping his fingers. He had so much spin on his breaking ball. It's something I had never heard before.
Great athlete. My understanding is he may come in and do some television work with us, some pre and post game shows.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
There's Diaz, and he looks at a ball outside.
That was supposed to be a secret, by the way. I'm kidding.
Thanks a lot. Look at Greinke with the positioning here and how he wants his third baseman. Just moved him off the line and moved him closer to the hole.
Backed him out into left field.
But you know,
back up, I got this part.
They've got the charts to position the players in exactly every hitter and where they want them. And here's a player defying that, I guess, saying, no, I want you here.
Well, the pitchers do that from time to time. He knows how he's going to attack this hitter, and he might see something different from the first at bat than they were thinking on the video.
2-1.
You see Diaz has a swing where he kind of swings down through the zone. So Zach's thinking himself, if I throw a sinker down there, he's going to hit a high chopper. Maybe he wants his third baseman to back up, give him some more room to make the play.
2-2. You can hear Greinke grunting with every pitch. Just about 2 months into his first major league season, and Ledmus Diaz would be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year in the National League. Who knows, maybe even an All-Star. Been fun to watch. And soon more options for Mike Matheny. Johnny Peralta began his assignment in the minor leagues. He'll be up here. And Peralta has played roughly 100 games at third base, so he's done that before if they wanted to go in that direction. And obviously he could play shortstop. Diaz played third and second spring training. We get word, by the way, on Cannon Kyle, 6'5". He's 18 years young, playing volleyball and looking to attend UC Santa Cruz or Concordia Irvine. Twin sister is headed to TCU to play sand volleyball.
Wow. Got his daddy's height.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. Greinke to Diaz. Good at bat. 2 outs and 2 on. Steven Piscotty. In the air, right center. That'll stay in the ballpark. Cardinals strand 2. We head to the 4th. Have a lead. Kick off your summer with a drink that kicks your taste buds. The bold and refreshing frozen strawberry lemonade. It's back and it's only available at McDonald's. Did you see that picture
of Cannon?
Yeah.
Wow. It's a stud.
We just saw a picture of Cannon Kyle at
Torrey Pines High School.
Man, I mean, is that strikingly similar to his father. Line drive into right, and Piscotty a sliding catch.
With more body muscle. That's what it was. Everyone was going with their body fat. And so it's, 7 to 12% body fat. And he would come in and say, don't worry about me. I got about 7% body muscle.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Everything else is fat.
Here's Bourne, who is 2 for 2. Infield hit and also a base hit to right. Jaime Garcia, shortest outing of his career at home. So the Cardinals will try to get a bunch of outs in a few innings from Matt Bowman. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Good changeup. Arms, legs, and then pulls a string.
Really good changeup right there.
Yep.
Down the zone, away.
He was a starter at Las Vegas, the AAA affiliate for the Mets. Did not have good numbers, but the Cardinals liked the fact that he threw strikes and a number of ground balls.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Hard to have good numbers in Vegas.
For a number of reasons.
It's a hitter's ballpark and the wind's blowing out 100 miles an hour. And it's hot. Nice play by Carp. I think that you see that we saw that great changeup, or that good changeup. We'll say this all year. I'll say it all year long because it's the toughest thing about hitting is, and you can get a hitter to think that you're going to throw the ball inside, and for a strike you're going to get all that off-speed stuff open up out over the plate. And if you're just going to stay away and be careful, it's going to be really tough to have your off-speed stuff unless it is on. and in perfect location.
He really sells it too with that delivery. Here's Goldschmidt. 1-0 pitch. And again, Bowman from the Mets organization, and they felt set in their bullpen. Rotation clearly set. And so he became available, and the Cardinals pounced on him. The 2-0. Tails in, 3 balls, no strikes. You know what I wanted to ask Tony when he was in the booth on Friday? Tony, when Jim Edmonds decided to come back wearing a Cubs uniform, I distinctly remember that pitch, a ball, I guess. Distinctly remember wondering about the fan reaction. And Tony said, well, boo him. Remember this?
I didn't hear about this, but.
And so now the time is gone and you two are the best of friends. I just, I wanted to ask him about what he was thinking at that time.
Well, on my side, I'll tell you exactly what happened is I get tired of them asking me, what are you going to do about this? And what do you know, the Cardinal relationship and the Cardinal this. And I said, hey, listen, I'm a Cub right now. And somebody took that and ran with it and went straight to him and said, he said he's a Cub. And one of the writers got a hold of it, one of our writers, I believe, here in St. Louis, and went to, what kind of reaction are you going to have when you have that? It's like me saying to you, if I'm working for the Diamondbacks for 5 years and they keep asking me how great you are, and I say, well, I got this guy now, and they're like, they go, well, he said he's with so and so now, and you kind of take it personally. Well, he took it personally, and I had no idea what he was all frustrated about, but
I thought it was hilarious, personally.
Didn't bother me any.
Well, I know it didn't bother. There was nothing that bothered you.
Well, I mean, there's no reason to worry about it. There's nothing I could do, but I think it really made him mad too is when I hit that home run in Chicago and I threw my bat at him in the dugout. And then he asked me if I did it on purpose. I told him no. No, he'd watch me play. He'd watch me hit 250 home runs in the Cardinal uniform and never seen me drop my bat farther than the batter's box, and it actually ended up against the screen.
Did it really?
Yeah, I threw it at him. I took like 4 steps and slung it into the Cardinal dugout, and he was the only one that got upset. I threw it right at him. I wish could have had video of that. It'd have been classic. And then I hit 2 home runs that game, I believe, and yeah, I threw the second one. I didn't throw it as far, but the first one I threw right at him. I slung it into the dugout, and it hit the screen. You want to boo me? Here, eat this. Who's got the last laugh now, Tony? He's over there sitting there, a couple rows down. Can't talk on TV. I got you.
Here's a 2-2.
I can quit now. I got everything I ever wanted to say to him out of the way.
Bowman will tag Wellington Castillo.
Gotcha.
Diamondbacks about hit the Cardinals 10-2. Friday, June 3rd, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older have the opportunity to take home the replica of the 2006 World Series trophy. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Your son Landon has made his way to the booth.
Yes, he has. His first day in the booth. He's checking it out. Waiting to get both the kids together up here. Bring your son to work day.
Mine are too loud. Yours are well behaved.
He's been yelled at enough in the locker room. Going back to Tony, in all seriousness, though, he was like a father to me, and I tell that story and jokingly. Yes, I was frustrated with him, but he taught me so much about this game that I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. And like I said, he wasn't just a manager. To me, he was like a father, and he taught me a lot on and off the field about life and the game. So like I said, all kidding aside, that was funny, but nothing but respect for that man, and he knows it.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Matt Adams. As well as he is going in terms of hitting the ball the other way, I wonder how many teams will have this pronounced of a shift coming up against Adams. He's also mixed in bunts.
Well, I think that from what we've been talking about, you see the outfield's pretty much straight away. The ground balls that he hits are going to be on the ground, and then that ball, a couple times he's kind of flipped some balls through the infield, and they're probably just enough to get through the infield or over the infielder's head, and they'll take that chance.
Hits it the other way and a foul ball.
But the thing to me that kind of, if I was playing and watching, and I'm watching now, is if I had this kind of a shift on, I don't know if I'd want to throw him anything that he can just slap at and hit it
exactly
down the third base line. The problem with that is, if you throw him something inside to hit, he kills it. So take your pick.
There's a 1-2 pitch. Elevated it and struck him out. Second strikeout for Zach Greinke. Yadier Molina with his first home run yesterday. Part of our Kia in the driver's seat. One out and nobody on. Good breaking ball. Well, the graphic did say Jaime Garcia. He is part of the team. And it was a graphic about the team, and the home runs are up.
They're allowed to mess up once in a while. Doesn't happen very often. We have a crew of people working behind the scenes. I don't know if people know that, but very, very few mistakes.
Men and women of our crew do a great job. As Molina strikes out. That's rare. He doesn't strike out very often. Take a look at the pitch. Chevy Fox Tracks.
See what we're talking about here. Ball caught part of the plate. Good pitch. I was going to say this is that pitch where you get 2 strikes and you kind of throw a pitch that looks like it's going to be a strike and ends up a ball. That ended up staying in the strike zone.
There's Brandon Moss. Now the shift against him, to me, makes all the sense in the world. I mean, he is up there not to go the other way. He's up there to put it out of the ballpark and over the wall and right. That's how he swings. That's where the majority of the players like that.
Like that, to be frank.
Deep right. He knew it. Gone.
Good call.
8th home run for Brandon Moss. And a 1-0 pitch to Grichuk. Moss, his 3rd career hit off of Zach Greinke, and 2 of the 3 have been home runs. The 2-0.
Little words of wisdom. This is how you do it, kid.
Who's a guy that helped you along?
Later here, Mark McGuire. Really, Tony. Tony was so hands-on for the players. He had just so much to say, you know, so much to talk about with the game inside the game. A lot of the hitting and a lot of the defense and a lot of the pitching and all that stuff is a lot of it's mental when you're here. And literally, if you can hone in your mental skills and concentration and staying focused on the field, the talent that you have will just take care of itself.
3-2 pitch, foul back again.
What do you think Joe's looking at right there? I went over and said hi to him. I was a little afraid to ask him to come in the booth, but wanted to walk over and say hi. It's crazy to watch. That's a guy I watched growing up hit the biggest home run that you could hit.
It's sharply to 3rd, and Grichuk is a 3rd out. We played 4. Moss's home run gets the Cardinals on the board. It's now 5-1 Diamondbacks. Ryder on the right, special assistant to the GM. Tony La Russa running the baseball ops. We are told we have proof of the Jim Edmonds home run wearing a Cubs uniform against the Cardinals. Jimmy, if you're just joining us, told a funny story about hitting a home run and throwing a bat after he hit it towards the Cardinal dugout, and it may have been in the direction of one Tony La Russa.
Just a little bit. Not a kind of. I told him it wasn't on purpose. Oh God, hope he's not looking. Can we cut out the TV that's in his booth for a minute? Run over there and pull it out of the wall.
Tomas hits it to third. This is in 2008. Let's take a look.
Close your eyes, Tony.
A shot.
3-2.
Just a little homer, though. No, I didn't throw it as hard as I thought I did. I thought I slung it over there. I think there was another one I might have slung over there.
That looked like the second one.
Yeah, the first one was a little more aggressive. Yeah. It's all right. I think that one went across the street.
Popped up left side. Carpenter backing up. 2 outs. I think the thing that helped Tony La Russa was that he did from a fan's perspective, in winning over the fans, he did a show on KMOX radio every Sunday, and fans could call in, ask him anything anything that they wanted, and he would give you that honest, heartfelt answer. It wasn't just taking a call and putting in his time. I mean, it was a way for him to open up, and he mentioned it was very important for him to do that show. Then when you win, that obviously is a huge factor. And I think with what we were talking about before, the year with Jack Buck and Darryl Kyle passing, how he kept the team together and was the face of what the team stood for, and a team that won, kept it all together. Amazing job.
He handled our team so well.
I was texting you. I said, I don't want to get you in trouble.
No.
I guess it felt pretty good against the Cardinals, huh?
I imagine that to be a little bit more aggressive than I can remember, because he definitely asked me about it. I thought there was one in there that the bat was thrown a little bit further. I think I hit a few home runs against them that week, but
that was off of Braden Looper. 1-2 the count on Chris Owings. On a hop to first baseman Matt Adams, and Matt Bowman's done a nice job. We're midway through 5 on a beautiful day here in St. Louis. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Ichiro Suzuki 4 for 4 last night, hitting .373. Incredible. Cespedes with a home run for the Mets. Now tied for the major league lead with Nolan Arenado, and Madison Bumgarner starts against the Cubs tonight. 4-0 in his last 5 starts. Cubs will be here tomorrow. Big crowd. Gorgeous day here in the Gateway City. And it's 5-1 Arizona.
It really doesn't get any better than a day like today.
Man, because you know it's coming.
They're hard to find.
The ground ball that's hit to second. And Wong is 1 for 2.
I mean, these are the days when it comes like this, you have to get outside. The humidity only at 30%. 80 degrees. Pretty clear. I mean, it's weird. Like, you just don't get that clear, calm, easy day. It's like the heat comes, here comes the rain, cools it off, comes the heat again.
And when it comes in St. Louis, it comes. You better be ready for it. 95 to those 100-degree temperature days and the humidity. As Bowman hits it out of play, he sacrificed his last time up. Here's an 0-2 pitch. We were talking the other day off mic about the atmosphere here in St. Louis, and we talk about it and mention it 40,000 plus every day, every night, and how it does energize a player. You said, and I loved it, we were talking about those late night flights and getting in early in the morning, and you said, look, if you can't get excited to play a major league game in St. Louis, something's wrong with you. Not every place has this.
I mean, I felt it driving to the ballpark. I mean, I was in a hurry to get here. It was fun. Knew when you got to work, it was, you could flip that switch and get all that energy. I mean, you got to really, I always think about this a lot because now not playing and having opportunities to bring my kids to the ball game, but it's hot in the summer and there's 40,000 people sitting in the sun. I remember back in the day when I was playing, I saw Pronger. Chris Pronger was sitting in the green seats in the old stadium. He had his shirt off, a huge beer in his hand, and he was like, after the game I called him, I go, how was it? He goes, man, it was so hot. But I couldn't get up because everybody knew I was sitting there. And I looked like a sissy if I got up. But you got to applaud the people that come, because I don't know if I would watch a game when it gets really hot in the sun. It's tough.
There's a base hit into right center field.
That's how you beat the shift.
First hit for Carpenter. June 5th features great giveaways for both adults and the kids. That day, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a Cardinals pool tote courtesy of Apple Vacations. And then kids 15 and under receive a beach towel that features Fredbird. It's the Ritz kickoff to summer weekend. Cardinals.com/promotions. Some schools still in school, and that's the other thing to keep in mind.
I was going to say some of the majority of the schools I believe are still in for one more week, but there's a few that are out, so
even bigger crowds coming up.
Maybe Wednesday afternoon against the Cubs. It's supposed to be a nice day again. Rain lurking around the horizon.
I saw that. And then it's off to our nation's capital, Washington, and then we'll have a stop in Milwaukee and then back home. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Aledmys Diaz. You may love him, you may hate him, but I enjoy watching Bryce Harper play as a baseball fan.
He's a good player, and he's exciting to watch.
Great player,
and you never know what he's going to do.
Yep. Teams have just taken the choice now lately, not even pitching to him. Getting some of that Barry Bonds treatment.
Interested to see how he handles it, as far as not expanding the strike zone, not getting too excited to try to do too much. Getting the star treatment is tough.
Diaz pops it up. And the catch is made. We head to the 6th. Diamondbacks with a 5-1 lead. Golf tournament, the Jim Butler Golf Tournament. For more information, if you'd like to participate, head to their website, bgcstl.org. By the way, Bryce Harper, since he left St. Louis, is hitting .257, 9 for 35 with 29 walks. So it goes back to what you're talking about. You know, you might get one pitch in that at bat to swing at, if that. And with that one pitch, doing some damage. Here's Zach Greinke. I mean, you've been through that where you're in a hot streak and everybody knows it. You may not see a pitch to hit. When do you expand the zone?
It's 64 at bats, 29 walks. That's 64 plate appearances. Sorry. You have to decide when you're going to swing, when they're pitching to you. That's so. Back to the situation we talked about. We've talked about, like, now Zach Greinke is hitting in the 8-hole today. It was a conversation that I had with Chip Hale about, you know, how do you get your 8-hole hitter that's hitting in front of the pitcher on track as far as when he's getting pitched to and when he's not. That's the same situation like that. So imagine being in the 3 or 4 hole and you just don't know you're getting pitched to because it's just you getting pitched around, when they're going to challenge you, when you think they're going to pitch around you, and yet next thing you know, you have a fastball right down the middle to hit and you take it expecting to be pitched around.
Think about pitching against the MV3. Edmonds, Pujols, Roland. You had Renteria, all you guys in the primes of your careers. That was one good lineup.
We should have won at least another World Series.
Agreed.
We should have.
Mentioned your conversation with Chip Hale. Was a terrific college player. The all-century baseball team in the Pac-12. Look at some of the names there: Seaver, Johnson, Bonds, Jackie Robinson at UCLA, Freddie Lynn, Chip Hale, A.J. Hinch, who's the manager for Houston, and Terry Francona, the manager for Cleveland.
Good news is, if you make that list, you got a pretty good chance of a shot at the big leagues. One way or the other.
You're all century. You're a pretty good player,
regardless if it's even in high school.
Mike Leake, by the way, was a part of that all-century team 40-plus wins at Arizona State. I always felt the 2004 team, once you added Larry Walker, was maybe the best team we've seen here in the last 20, 30 years.
It's a pretty good team. I think the one thing we lacked a little bit was just pitching.
Yep.
The depth.
2005 was another 100-win team. And then the team that gets 83 wins wins the World Series. But you got healthy at the right time. You added Preston Wilson. Chris Duncan had 22 home runs that year. That's often overlooked. But you got healthy and hot. I always felt that when you guys got in, that was the team that no one wanted to face because of the experience, and Eckstein got healthy. You were coming off a concussion. 2004, Albert had 46 home runs, hit .331. Roland 314, 34 home runs. Albert drove in 123, Roland 124, and you had 42 home runs and 111 RBIs. A trio with over 100 RBIs. And the pitching staff, not a lot of depth, but they took the ball every day.
Well, they were good, and only reason I say that is because it was brought to my attention that that's where we were short. Speaking to maybe Tony or coaching staff or the general manager, I would have never thought that. I just thought, I mean, we didn't get beat in the World Series because of our pitching staff, that's for sure. We got beat because we got beat, and we got beat bad.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Lined into shallow center, and a base hit. So back-to-back singles. Now we're at the top of the lineup, Gene Segura. It's interesting to see how Arizona has gone about it. Now, we talk about them giving up pieces to go get players like Segura, like a Shelby Miller. So the farm system a little bit depleted, but still one of the reasons they felt they could do that, the nucleus of their team is young. This is one of the youngest teams in baseball.
And you could tell from today there's a lot of talent on that field.
No doubt.
Whether they put it all together this year, second half, next year, it's to be seen, but it's definitely there.
You know, this time last year you thought the Cubs, okay, making strides, getting better, and then you saw them in the second half of the season put it together. They went to San Francisco, had a sweep, and Joe Madden told me that's when we knew we were good, and the players started to believe that we are good, and they got hot. Almost caught the Cardinals.
And that ballpark is tough to win if you're a visiting team. I mean, I feel like you can always come back there.
Carpenter to first. Ball gets away from Adams, and that'll allow the runner to advance to third.
I feel like when you're playing in Chicago, you're a walk and a swing away from tying up a game. 2-run homer at any time.
Here's Michael Bourne, who is 2 for 3. Jonathan Broxton was roughed up the game on Friday, so he's getting loose now. And you wonder if Bowman's starting to run out of gas. He's at 40 pitches. A.J. Pollock injured, may miss the entire year. Inciarte traded away in the Shelby Miller deal, so Diamondbacks out of necessity went out and picked up Michael Bourne. The 0-1 pitch. Arizona went for it in 2001. They went out and got Curt Schilling. They had Randy Johnson win the World Series. But then they had some bad teams and bad years. It just makes what the Cardinals have done so impressive. Some of the players move on. They find other players. They draft well. Pitch taken outside. Tony La Russa moves on. Mike Matheny has sent the team to the playoffs every year. The 2-1 pitch. Bowman to Bourne. Alex Reyes, the Cardinals' #1 prospect, making his season debut today at Memphis. And a base hit into right. Six to 1 Arizona.
This has got to be the most pitches that Bowman's thrown all year.
Yep.
Risk of getting tired. Still making good pitches, but I mean, like I said, that Arizona team today is going after the fastball and hitting the ball that's been down in the zone. Being very aggressive on the fastball today.
Runners at first and third. Paul Goldschmidt. Cardinals got a double play off his bat back in the first. Alex Reyes, by the way, did something that is very, very unique. Just finished up the 50-game suspension, but went to Gary LaRocque and asked to address all the players down in the minor leagues. It's something the Cardinals rarely, if ever, do. And also the coaching staff, to thank them for their support and also to talk to the players. Very, very impressive. He's made a lot of strides, they say. Have you seen him pitch?
Not yet. I've heard.
Talked to John Mozeliak about it. They feel it's the best pitching prospect they've had since Rick Ankiel. I saw him throw in a simulated game last year. It is eye-popping. It'll catch your attention. Yep. He's a big kid. He's throwing 98 to 100 consistently late in games. Bowman, you may remember, pitched on Friday at 35 pitches that day. There's your ground ball. Can they turn two? They'll get one. Carpenter may have had a play at the plate. So here's what we're talking about. Overall, the youngest team in the major leagues. Second youngest position players, third youngest with their pitching staff.
A lot of work ahead to improve this team and keep them moving forward. It's a challenge. I think the younger players are a challenge to keep them in the game all year long. It was a challenge for me to do it as a player, so I can imagine having a group of players for Chip Hale, you see right there, to stay on top of, keep him in the game.
Runner goes, and a broken bat hit to short. Diaz makes the play. Arizona tacks on two more, and it's 7-1 Diamondbacks. The way to do it, Phillip at Phillip66. And you'll receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillip66. Ah, yes, the camera. Phil Nichols, he's all over the ballpark today. Takes you right inside. There's Stephen Piscotty to lead it off. We were talking about the 2004 team. Chris Carpenter was 15-5. There's Phil. Nice hat. Jason Marquis was 15-7. Morris 15-10. Suppan 16-9. There's a high fly ball into deep right center field. Woody Williams, part of the 04 team. He was 11-8. Chris Carpenter heading into the Cardinals Hall of Fame. You think it's going to be an emotional day for him, or, you know, our fans know him as such a stoic guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That mean and tough on those game days.
Oh, that'll be fun to watch.
That will be. You talk about a hockey fan. That guy is a hockey fan. Always was going to Blues games.
I think he actually bought tickets, season tickets.
See, he did.
Just so he didn't have to mess with it.
Two balls and no strikes on Adams. Cardinals took a flyer on Chris Carpenter, hoping, fingers crossed, he would come back and get healthy. And now headed to the Cardinals Hall of Fame. We overuse guys saying that, well, he's a competitor. This guy's a warrior. That was Chris Carpenter. I mean, you talk about a guy that loved to compete. He loved it.
And was good. Oh. Wasn't just a competitor. He was talented, driven, and good.
Mean, nasty.
That's the way you're supposed to be on the mound.
2-2. And Adams is swinging a miss. Strikeout number 5 for Zach Greinke. BJC Healthcare difference maker Yadier Molina. Look at that, the last 2 years. Multiple surgeries on the hands. Getting better and better. Walks up, strikeouts down. He's had some really good at bats during this homestand. And he hits it up the middle. Ahmed makes a great play to his left.
Good play.
We head to the 7th. It's 7-1 Arizona. And Jonathan Broxton takes over for St. Louis. 18th appearance. ERA has climbed now to 4.96 after the rough outing on Friday night. But prior to that, very good this year. (7-1) Arizona here in the 7th inning. Best way to find your seats is through the StubHub app. Home or road, check it out. StubHub. Here's Yasmani Tomas with 1 out, nobody on. Or rather, nobody out, nobody on at the start of the inning. Got distracted there, Jimmy. It happens.
You got distracted or I got distracted?
A little bit of both. 1 out, nobody on.
Mel brought me my charger. I left it over there at the pre and post game.
Oh,
set. Trying to figure out what that is?
Yeah.
It's a charger.
Well, I know that's a charger, but
just a different kind of a charger. It's an accelerated charger. Rapid charger.
Really?
She walked it over here from the set. Nice of her.
I don't have one of those.
I'll look for one for you.
Never too early to start thinking about Christmas. 1 out, and here is Brandon Drury. Jim Hayes is working with Rick Horton.
Just don't leave your charger at your night job.
1 ball, 1 strike. Drury with 2 hits today, RBI and a run scored. And the 1-2 pitch from Broxton. Ground ball. There's Diaz. When he comes in on a ball, he does not make errors. You notice that?
And he comes in hard.
Exactly.
I mean, right there, he came in. He took a little bit of a step to the left and came straight in a great at an angle straight across towards first base to get his momentum going. And yeah, he comes hard. I remember going back to that day he had in LA with the errors, and I said a couple of those plays were tough, but right there it's the same thing. You have to he's playing deep, he's on the grass, and when you're charging that hard, it's sometimes the fast runner, it's do or die. And that one wasn't, but you still have to charge it and make a throw because everyone is running so hard down the line. This game's getting faster and faster every day with these young players. Are getting faster and the athletes are getting better, and speed of the game. I don't know why you keep saying that, Dan, but it definitely is improving.
0-2 the count. Told that Alex Reyes in his debut with 7 strikeouts in 3 innings so far.
Wow.
Not bad. You know, Mo is not one to make bold statements, but when you hear he's the best since Ant Keel, it stands out. He also said that Oscar Taveras was the best hitting prospect since Albert Pujols. Here's a 1-2 and a strikeout.
Great job by Jonathan Broxton.
Time to stretch. An inning, Cardinals player hits a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Speaking of home runs, Brandon Moss earlier in the contest with a Nissan drive of the game. 8th home run of the year for Moss.
It was a no-doubter.
Alex Reyes, by the way, first inning, no pitch, was under 98 miles an hour.
Plenty rested.
Yeah.
that's I'm telling you, like, we talked about this all year. Spring training especially talked about it. The difference between 91 to 93 and 94 to 98 is ridiculous. The speed of the game is so much more intense. You have to react so quick at the plate. If you got a guy that throws 97, 98 that can throw strikes, you're in trouble as a hitter.
That's been the thing with Reyes too. They want to have a little bit more consistency out of that. But the other thing, you get away with it too.
Yeah, the thing you got to be careful with is just turning into a thrower. I mean, I think like a perfect example, and not a well-known guy, but a guy we know, Brad Penny, had that great velocity, but he just reared back and threw, and then it was either everything was on the right-handed side of the plate. He liked to stay away, facing him. Everything was high and away. It was either out of the zone or at the top of the zone to hammer. And if you could slow down and shorten up and level out your swing, you could have success. But when you have a normal guy with sink and run and curveball, and they can throw 98, it's not fun to be a hitter.
Crowd today 43,829. 43829.
For just a little example right there, Jonathan Broxton in LA, when he comes out to throw his first couple pitches and you're in the hole or you're on deck or you're ready to hit, when he throws that first pitch and it's 92, 93, you're like, okay. When he throws that first pitch at 98, you're like, oh god, this isn't going to be fun. And that's the way it goes.
Yep. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Cardinals center fielder. How long will Greinke stay in this game? His pitch count at 85. What has been a relatively easy afternoon for him. Only 4 hits allowed. Strikeout of Randal Grichuk. Quickly 2 outs. This pitch right here is the pitch that gets Grichuk an awful lot. Plaza Tire Service replay.
Well, that's the tight slider, the pitch that looks like a fastball coming out of the hand, that you don't really see the spin that well because it's not really rotating like a breaking ball. It's something that I was talking to our team with today about, trying to get a way to show the fans from the hitter's perspective how difficult it is to make the decision when you're going to swing and when you're not, by just basically picking up spin out of the hand.
Wong hits it the other way and a base hit.
It's something that we talked about. Let's try to figure out a better way to show everyone how tough it is to be a hitter. Let's find a new way, something different. Because you get a guy that has upper level velocity, and if he has the same mechanics, and you take Michael Walker for example, when he's throwing 96, 97 with that nasty changeup, everything comes out of his hand in the same spot. So I'm trying to figure out a way that we can show you how to be able to figure out when you're supposed to swing and when you're not, and when you have to lay off certain pitches, and why that changeup can be so devastating. And as difficult it is to hit, it's that difficult to find that proof.
Sure. That's what makes his changeup so good, is that it comes from the same slot. He's throwing on a downward angle anyway. You've got to be ready for a mid-90s fastball.
And then you take another, like a slider or a cutter, that by the time you recognize the spin, you're already in the middle of your attempt to go after the pitch. So you either got to find a way to hold up or adjust and put it in play.
I used to love seeing the, speaking of Chris Carpenter, but his cutter in on a lefty. He sawed off a lot of bats. Izzy had a good cutter. Hazel Baker is at the plate, the pinch hitter, 2 balls, 1 strike. A 7-pitch, 6th inning, 14 pitches here in inning number 7.
Zach might be getting a little tired here. Pitch count's getting up, but he's kind of a max effort guy. He's grunting and groaning and throwing 92 to 93. Haven't had a whole lot of warm days yet, so I wouldn't call heat being a factor, but the sun could be a factor. And the fact that he's given it everything he's got for 7 innings now.
It's not only did Greinke leave to sign with Arizona, but he signs with a team that's in the Dodgers division, and that clearly he lessens their rotation. When you had Kershaw and Greinke in that 1-2 punch, you got a chance to do damage in postseason play.
Well, you got to have at least 2 to get through the postseason.
Exactly.
And those are 2 pretty good ones.
Hazel Baker grounds out. We have played 7. Diamondbacks lead it 7-1. Thank you, Jimmy. Takes us to Tyler Lyons. And Lyons' 13th appearance. Some of the changes now for the Cardinals. Ruben Tejada is into the ball game. Takes over at third base. Eric Fryer is your new catcher. So Yachty is out. Hazel Baker stays in the game. He's in right field. Here's Zach Greinke.
Looks like he's going to get a chance to pitch another inning.
Longest outing this season in terms of pitches. Back on April 30th, 105 against Colorado. Most in his career, 123 back in 2011.
We talked about that big 1-2 punch in LA. The last 3 years at 15, 17, and 19 wins. 19-3 last year with a 1.66. That's unheard of.
It is. You look at the Dodgers this year, outside of the Kershaw games in which he starts, it's been a below 500 team. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ground ball that's hit to second. Nice hop for Colton Wong. 1 away. Along with Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. 82 degrees here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. See, the Diamondbacks jumped out to a 5-0 lead against Jaime Garcia. Shortest outing ever for him at home, 2 1/3. Gave up 10 hits and 5 earned. That's one way to take in a game. Got to put a video game on your cell phone. Bring the umbrella. Take in the shade. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Popped up. Fryer throws the mask and makes the catch. Two outs, nobody on. And the top of the lineup, Gene Segura. So the Cardinals finish up the homestand beginning tomorrow. 3 games with the Chicago Cubs. I hope he gets a souvenir.
I hope not. I don't think he's going to be capable of catching one in that position. And I don't think the dad's going to be able to get up fast enough to help him out. He's got somebody stuck on his lap. That's awesome.
Here's a 1-1. Good changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Diamondbacks with Tony La Russa, Chief Baseball Officer Dave Duncan, Special Assistant to the GM, pitching consultant Bob Gebhardt, Special Assistant. Talked about Ed Lewis the other day, who's head of analytics and research. Dave McKay. So a lot of the former St. Louis Cardinals working for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Tony's in charge of baseball operations. Why are all the special assistants to the general manager? I would like to be the special assistant to the guy who's in charge of the entire baseball operations.
You probably could make that happen for
I
you
could
too.
sit up there next to him all day and listen to him scream and yell at the TV and at the field. Be a good job.
Ground ball to first. Lyons is there. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise 1-2 right now. And by your local Volkswagen dealer. The bottom of the 8th. And Eric Fryer leads it off. Zach Greinke pitching a gem here this afternoon with 5 hits allowed. That's it. The 1 run was a Moss homer.
Danny, I was just looking at Greinke's numbers. He's already given up 32 earned runs this year. He gave up 41 all of last year.
Right.
We're, what are we, quarter of the way through the season?
Just past the quarterway point.
You brought me to Clayton Kershaw. I was looking at his 6-1 with a 1.67 ERA.
He's fun to watch. Not fun to hit against, I would assume.
I can't imagine being fun to hit against him.
2-1. So you watch Greinke, and as you mentioned, not overpowering with the fastball. So what is it about him that makes him so good?
He's a little bit of a short armer too. When the ball jumps out of his hand a little bit more, gives him the deception of a little bit more miles per hour than it actually is. But everything's tight. Like the slider's tight, the cutter's tight. Changeup doesn't really dive. It just kind of gets up there and just dies off. Curveball is a big curveball. The only thing that you can really see come out of his hand is a curveball that flips it up. But when a guy throws so many fastballs and sinkers down, it's like what Jaime Garcia does when he's on. He's got such direct, such a direct line to down in the strike zone that when that curveball pops up out of the hand, you're not ready for it. It buckles you for a split second, just long enough to not be able to swing at it. So when he's good, when these guys are good like this, down in the zone, the only thing they can do wrong is maybe throw too many strikes at times.
On a hop to third. Good play. Fryer gets down the line, hustling, and out by maybe a step.
I mean, even go back to Jaime's day today. I mean, he didn't really make that many bad pitches. They were really aggressive, and the balls that they hit found holes, got through the infield. Nothing was really hit hard. I thought he pitched a pretty decent game as far as game plan. I think that sometimes, like you said, you just have to give credit to the offensive team. And today the Diamondbacks did a good job of attacking the fastball when it was in the zone.
Aledmys Diaz. Into right. There's 2 outs.
Even that slider / breaking ball wasn't huge, wasn't hanging, just had enough movement just to keep you off balance, and starts up there in the middle of the zone and breaks off the plate a little bit. As hot as Diaz has been, just hard to stay through it. Like I said, that short arm gets your timing. You know, you got to be ready to hit that fastball when it sneaks up on you. Just get you off balance enough to make everything else difficult to put in play. Hard.
Ruben Tejada fouls it back. You know, I'm coming around on what you're saying on some of these foul balls. Get out of the way.
That little girl, there's a little girl down there that just 1 seat away from her. The dad just watched it right up there. Now, let me just tell you this. If I'm sitting with my kids or your kids or anyone's kids, or you're not looking,
you'll help.
I'll take it for the team. I'll knock it down. I'll get in the way. I'll put a hand out. But if it's coming at me, I don't know if I'm just going to stand here and try and catch it. There's no point.
As you told me, I'm retired.
And it's harder than it looks.
One and two the count on Ruben Tejada.
And I'm going to remind everyone and you of that every day I'm up here in the booth. The game is harder than it looks. Talking with the guys, get the center field camera. Doesn't look that tough. This is a better angle.
Popped up. And Greinke is through 8. His day may be through. Pitch out at 107. 7-1 D-backs. Takes us to Dean Kekeffer, the left-hander. Fifth appearance this year for Dean. And Michael Bourne will lead it off, followed by Goldschmidt and Castillo.
Our microphones are really picking up some stuff today, aren't they? Got a little ow out of Michael Bourne right there.
Yeah. Begs the question, how much jawing goes on in a game? How much in those dugouts are guys just yapping back and forth at each other?
Sometimes a lot.
Kekeffer to the bag for the out. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the content descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Speaking of jawing, I think that a lot more gets said, and there's a lot more talking amongst teams that maybe play each other a little bit more often versus a team like Arizona, which you only see twice a year. And usually it's pretty spread out. It's pretty shocking to me to watch the schedule this year to see that done with Arizona already in May. Those glasses.
That's old school, man. Those are the flip glasses.
But the old school, they used to be black.
Good point.
That's the old school flash right there.
Goldschmidt hit by the pitch. Brings in Castillo. Adams playing behind the runner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two outs.
To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen a pair of flip down shades that are white before. I am getting old.
Oh, I've seen them.
I have not.
It's the rage of all the kids.
Were your kids wearing them in the back seat today?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're all over the place. I don't know where you've been. Flip glasses and a good play. Get with the times, Edmonds. Get with the times. Western Conference Finals tomorrow. Following Cardinals baseball, Missouri Lottery Blues Live, our post-game show. And good luck to the St. Louis Blues. If you win Game 5 in those 7-game series, and this is our Chevy call to the pin, the team that wins that game then 78% of the time wins the series.
So you're saying we need to win Game 5?
That's what I'm saying.
Saying there's a chance.
Brad Ziegler, closer for the Diamondbacks, pitched at Missouri State. Greinke looking for win number 5 here today.
Not going to get that call today. Well, at least not in the first 8 innings.
Nope. Arizona has had 3 series wins in their history in St. Louis. Most recently in 2013. They did it in 01 and 03. And a leadoff walk.
You've watched enough games in your day. Do you think, like, you bring your closer in a 7-1 game, that's hard for them to turn it up a notch?
I think it is. I think it's really hard for guys, especially if they've been sitting. You know, let's say they get up and their team takes then a big lead.
Yeah,
they sit down and the game gets close again and they got to amp it up again.
Well, I think you could turn that up a notch. I think that I think for me, if I was the manager, I would have to have some input back from a guy like this, and I would have to say, like, what do you think about today? Do you need to get work? Because you got to want to get the work. You can't. I think you can't be forced into getting work and then have it productive work. And I'm just saying that because more times than not, in a game that the closer normally wouldn't be in, they give up a run or they're not sharp right away.
This is Kiefer batting in a 7-1 game with position players still available.
For his first major league hit.
Turn to our Budweiser player of the game, Zach Greinke. 8 innings today, 5 hits, gave up a run, the home run to Moss, walked 1 and 7 strikeouts. With a win today, he'll go to 5-3. The Cardinals had Holiday on the bench, Jerko available.
Well, maybe those guys have shut it down for the day. I'm telling you, big lead, big deficit.
Two away.
There is sometimes, though, as a manager comes to you and says, hey, I'm giving you the day off regardless, unless there's an emergency. And this isn't an emergency. So when you get a day off,
it's a true day off.
You need a true day off. To the credit of Mike, would probably stand up and say, yeah, I let him hit because I told those guys they're going to have a day off. Now, if you're an everyday player and your manager gives you a day off, you're not prepared to hit right now at all. I mean, you're not. You haven't thrown a ball. You haven't run. You haven't stretched. You haven't done anything. You might have taken a nap at some point in the day in the clubhouse. And I'm not exaggerating. Maybe about the nap, but
no,
I know
true.
When I was playing and he said you got a day off, at least for Tony, he would give me some warning at least 2 innings ahead. Hey, you know, in this situation, if this happens, heads up, or I'm going to give you the day off. So everyone's wondering why Kiefer hit. That'll give you an explanation. You're doing more damage by throwing a Matt Holliday out there right now than you would by letting him hit for himself.
Ground ball tapped foul.
If you understand what I'm saying. It's not all about the best man for the job at that particular time. It's all about the long haul. Sometimes you just got to let it play out the way it's going.
2-1 the count on Randal Grichuk with a runner at second base.
Now, if it was a 7-5 game, obviously,
yeah,
we got a different situation.
Grichuk, base hit and an RBI.
Nice hustle.
2. Love the hustle.
See a little bit of a shift here, and he hits the ball just hard enough to get through. It's a way to beat the shift. Hit a missile. And like I said, 7-1 ball game, closer in the game. Giving up a run.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Couple of hits today for Colt Long. Picked up a double and a single to left.
I mean, plus, if you look at the lineup right now, Keycapper's protecting Adams. I mean, you got to leave him in there.
He had, I think, 6 minor league at bats in 7 years.
Really? That's awesome. I'm willing to say he will not get 6 major league at bats in his career.
I'd take that bet too.
Hopefully he doesn't have to.
Ooh, just missed. 2-2.
They have a stat for everything. I would love to see the stat for the ERA of all the closers in baseball pitching in a non-save situation.
A lot of them are high.
I'm willing to bet it's over double of their normal ERA.
Yep.
Tim Trokey, if you're listening.
He'll come up with it. 2-2 pitch.
Oh, he'll make it up.
Either way, we'll use it.
That'd be a heck of a stat to find that one.
Diamondbacks take 2 of 3 here in St. Louis. They win the 3rd game by the final of 7-2. All Zach Greinke today, partner.
Yes, it was. He did a pretty good job moving the ball around and keeping the hitters off balance. I think Jaime Garcia got the short end of the stick right there. Like I said, I don't think he pitched that badly, but Arizona offense was just ready for what he had to offer today.
So it's off to the post-game show. Final of 7-2. Jim Hayes and Rick Horton standing by. 7-2, the final.